What is going on, guys? Dizzy Dan here. Welcome back into the channel and welcome to episode number 18 of Disney Fiasco. It's good to see everybody back here live on YouTube. We have some great people in the chat already. We've got Timothy Rainwaters, Jess Rigby is here, Pin Trader McQueen, Stacey Rogers is here, Noah is here. What is going on? This week is going to be a little bit of a different week. As you can see on the screen, we are joined by two very special guests. Two guests that one I wanted to have back on my show for a long time, and another guest that I've really wanted to bring on the show to represent the UK. First up, we have Walt from Mouse Talk. It is good to see you again. Welcome back to Disney Fiasco.
Thank you, Dan. I definitely appreciate you having me. Unfortunately, Melissa could not make it tonight. It's just going to be me going solo, but I'm really happy to be here. We're going to have a good time tonight. It's a really good topic. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
So thank you so much. It was great having you a couple of weeks ago talking about our funniest moments at Disney, funny Disney attractions. That was really a lot of fun. And we are also joined by my friend Adam from ADAMSLAND. It is so fun and great to have you finally on Disney Fiasco. So welcome, my friend.
Cheers for having me on. Cheers. And hello, everyone.
Yeah, we won't bring up North versus the South. It's too late for us to discuss this.
And you don't want to lose that argument.
Hey, this is my show. We're on my show now.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you don't want to lose it on your own ground. That would be.
But yeah, we got two very wonderful special guests here tonight. We've got some great people who just joined in the chat. We've got Steve's World, Juan is here, Mary Ellen Clark is here, Rob Fuzz is here. It's great to see everybody. Now, you're probably asking, where is Corey and where is Megan? Unfortunately, they've been sacrificed by the great god Thanos to get the Soul Stone. No, I'm kidding. Spoilers if you've not seen Infinity War. Like again last week, Corey has been busy trying to get everything ready for his move down to Florida, so he might be unavailable for the next couple of weeks. But please go check out my partner channel, Corey Fiasco. He does some great pin videos, and he's slowing down just so that he can get everything ready for his move in a couple of weeks. Hey, server girl, what is going on? And then Megan. Megan unfortunately could not be here. She had to drop out last minute, but we're just sending much love to her as possible. She was really upset that she couldn't make it in tonight, but you know, nothing obviously has happened between us. We're all still like good friends. We are still one big Fiasco family, but they'll be back very shortly. But I am joined by two very awesome special guests, so we're gonna have a great show, so I'm looking forward to it. All right, so this week I was going backwards and forths on two different topics. I decided to go with a topic that I want to do for quite a while because I love movies, and I think I chose two very special guests who also love movies. And I had a thought. I was going to be like an armchair Imagineer, and I was thinking, right, what Disney movies, so any Disney movies under the umbrella, so Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, Disney, Muppets, whatever, would fit in a Disney park? Like a ride. What Disney movie would you make a ride? So that was the topic. That was our list. And we've been thinking long and hard of trying to think of all the things we could put on our list. And I just wanted to get from both of you, was it hard or quite easy to think of some of the stuff on your list? Obviously, no spoilers. So let's start with Walt. Was it a little bit difficult, or did some literally just pop out of your head straight away?
For me, it was really easy for the top three. I had no problem. I knew what I wanted. I've actually wanted these rides, and one of them I think was a rumor for a while, and I really loved the idea, and I hope that it does happen. But my first three, no problem at all. I came up with those. It was my two honorable mentions that were a little bit harder, but I came up with some good ones, I think.
Fantastic. And Adam?
Because I wasn't anticipating on coming on here until only a couple of hours ago. I had a little less time to prepare for this, so it's been a bit of a struggle, but I'm just about there with my answers. So yeah, I'm looking forward to throwing out some ideas.
Fantastic. Well, in the chat, please put down in the chat what kind of movies that you would like to see that Disney could just bring into the parks. What are your favorite movies that you would like to see made into a ride. So put those in the chat and I will be reading those off throughout the show. So this is how we are going to do it. We are going to start off with Walt, then we are going to go to Adam, and then we'll come to me. And we're just going to go around the table like we normally do every single week and just discuss what movies we might want to put as a ride in the theme parks. Kate Atwood, welcome. It's good to see you. So let's start off with Walt. What is your number one pick or your favorite pick or something that literally when you thought, right, what movie I would put as a ride, what was the first thing that you went to?
Absolutely. And if you guys see me looking off to the sides, because I'm looking at the chat on my other screen. But my number one that came to me right away, and I've wanted this as a ride at Disney for a while, is from Aladdin. Now, I know we already have the magic carpets of Aladdin, but I think they could take that ride to a whole nother level. And I think they could take a magic carpet ride and make it like a simulator ride where you are on the magic carpet and you're flying through the Cave of Wonders or around Agrabah. And they could make it like a simulator ride to make it really feel like almost like, I don't even want to say almost like Pandora, like, you know, Flights of Passage.
I was going to say, yeah. I imagine that being like Flights of Passage. So.
Absolutely. Same thing. They could do that with Avatar, but not quite on that level per se. Maybe on, think of like The Simpsons or Star Tours, something along those lines. And I think that could be such a great, great ride and really give Aladdin its just due in the parks. I think Aladdin is kind of not in the parks as much as it should be.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I feel like with Aladdin being one of those really popular Renaissance Disney movies, you know, you have the magic carpets of Aladdin, which effectively you can go on the exact same ride on the other side of the park on Dumbo the Flying Elephant. You can also meet Aladdin and Jasmine. And then there's that tiny scene in Mickey's PhilharMagic. But I feel like with something so popular as Aladdin, there needs to be something bigger, like you said. And I think maybe a VR experience or some sort of simulator attraction at the Magic Kingdom, because there isn't really a simulated ride really that I can think of at the Magic Kingdom. And I think, you know, flying through, you know, all over the world on a magic carpet ride is something you see as appealing and I see as appealing. I think everybody sees as appealing. I think it's something that is missing, especially with Aladdin being such a very popular movie. So I think it's a no-brainer, to be honest. Get rid of that, you know, the Dumbo, like, you know, the fake Dumbo, and put something new there, I think.
Yep, I agree. I think it could be a great fit in Adventureland somewhere, and it would be wonderful. I think they should do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam, what do you think?
What do I think about Walt's choice? Or
yeah, what do you think of Aladdin maybe giving you a little bit of love?
I love that idea. I love the idea of, you know, like you say, a little bit like following in the lines of Pandora, but, you know, taking that kind of magic carpet ride, you know, maybe sort of slightly lessened down, you know, for the kids to enjoy it as well. But yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. I think that would be a great ride and it'd be very popular.
I think it'd just be quite nice to maybe have that, you know, when you sit on a magic carpet ride and actually the air kind of pass through you underneath where you're sitting. Yeah. And just having that little like wave coming underneath you. I think that'd be, even just those small things can really get a, you know, that sense of like you're actually flying, you're actually feeling that you're on a magic carpet. I think that'd be quite a unique idea, because let's be honest, the magic carpets of Aladdin ride that's there, it's just, it's not really I don't see that as Aladdin really. It's just a out of the place Dumbo. So, but yeah, no, I think that's a great choice. Well, I think that is a fantastic choice and a great way to start off. And this is the exact example of what this episode is all about. So, fantastic choice. Adam, have we got our first pick?
My first pick, it kind of is along. Well, I mean, it's a different film, entirely different film, but along a similar concept. And I always thought it'd be very cool to have a ride centered around the pod racing scene from Star Wars. So I've gone into the Star Wars thing, but yeah, centered around pod racing, and yeah, because I think that's one of the best scenes in the whole, you know, Star Wars Episode 1 film. You know, it's adrenaline and it's adrenaline packed and sort of, you know, very exciting. It'd be a bit of a thrill ride. So that's kind of the first ride I would want to go to is themed around that. I'm not sure of the full intricacies of it yet, but like, you know, probably simulator themed, a bit like Flights of Passage and Walt's Aladdin idea. But that's that would be
yeah, I like that a lot, and that actually reminds me of one of those old arcade games. You know, whenever you go bowling or you go to like the movie theater and you see those like those games that are plugged in, you put money in it, the arcade games. I remember there was one which you actually used to sit in Anakin's pod racer, and you actually used to be able to do that. I remember that because I always wanted to, you know, drive it, and it's really, you know, okay. Let's be honest. The prequels are not, you know, they're not the originals. I don't even think they're as good as the trilogy that's really out right now. But I think out of Episode 1. That scene, as well as the Darth Maul fight scene, are the two best scenes in that movie. And I think, who wouldn't want to drive a pod racer? I think, you know, being able to, you know, have those degrees of angles when you drive a pod racer, you know, going in sideways into a corner, or having that sense of rush when you put the accelerator down, you're really flying. Being able to hit Jar Jar Binks because you don't like him. I mean, that's such a great... I think that's such a great opportunity and a great, just a great thing that we can really do. It's kind of like Star Tours, but a little bit more realistic. Something like that.
Exactly. A bit like that. Yeah, I think it just a bit like that. And I think I don't know how they could, you know, sort of have the concept of it, but maybe if, like, because if passengers were boarding, you know, different pods at the same time, and they could, you know, shoot several different scenes for it, so there was different outcomes as to who was going to win. You know, I think that would add a bit of an excitement element to it as well. You don't know how you're going to get on. So
I think you could almost do like a Star Wars / test track feel where you can create your own pod racer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be good.
That would be fun.
And especially if they brought that into Galaxy's Edge, where, you know, because obviously Galaxy's Edge, the concept of that is, you know, how you do on a particular ride, that kind of score follows you around all day. And I think, you know, if you could take that sort of test track, build your own pod into this pod racing ride, and again, you get this reputation, you know, that follows you around in Galaxy's Edge all day. I think that would be really cool.
I think it's something certainly that you can evolve and make it a little bit, you know, you can change so many things about it. And I think it's such an open thing that they can do. There's so many things you can do with that, and I'm surprised that they really haven't. The only thing that you really had with that was in Star Tours, when they put, you know, that's one of the destinations you can go,
right?
And that's about it. Well, what do you think of having a pod racing theme?
Absolutely wonderful idea, and so many things have popped into my head as soon as you said that, Adam. That would be a fantastic idea. They could take along the same lines of like test track. And with Radiator Springs, how you race through Radiator Springs, they could do that with, like, they could make an area where you're racing in the canyon for like you are in the pod racing, and there could be like 4 or 5 cars across from each other. I know there's only 2 with Radiator Springs, but they could do that and have them race, and it could be like pods, or they could do it in a simulator ride. There's so many different ways they could do that. That's a great idea. I love that choice.
I love it. Well, so I love that pick, and I think it's certainly something that should happen. Something similar maybe in Galaxy's Edge coming out very soon. Hey, Dreamers Empire. Hey, Dean, what is going on? It's good to see you. Don't worry about being late. It's okay. Everyone can come in whenever they like. So, great first 2 choices. Absolutely love it. I'm going to take it back to classics. And when I think of, if I was an armchair Imagineer and I wanted to think of something, an attraction that I wanted to do, first thing, I wanted to think of a classic ride. I didn't want to think of VR. I didn't want to think of a roller coaster. I didn't want to think of any. I wanted to think of that classic ride. And I also wanted to pick a movie that really does get no love, that gets no love in the parks whatsoever. I want a classic ride of Hercules. I think Hercules is one of the most underrated, but one of the best Disney animated classic movies that there is for me. I mean, I'm an ancient historian. I teach ancient history. I'm a little bit biased, but I just love the story of Hercules. I love the villain of Hades. He's probably my favorite villain, and just the story of how him growing as a person, growing from, you know, a man who wanted to go on his mission. He can go the distance. And I think it's such a great message for kids. And it kind of would be in a similar sense of Peter Pan's flight, just going through the story, maybe leaving Mount Olympus, going and fighting these titans, taking on Hades, and then finishing off back at Mount Olympus being a god. I think it's such a great story, and the music is fantastic. And I think just having a Hercules movie as a classic attraction would be, it'll give something to that movie because it really has nothing in the parks. So what do you think of, maybe something a little bit different, maybe not so high tech, but that's my pick. Maybe using the same technology as Frozen, the Frozen Ever After in Epcot, so similar technology to that. What do you think? I'm going to go around the table. What do you think, Walt, about that one?
Oh, I think it's a great pick. Absolutely. You hit it on a nail on the head there. Hercules is so underutilized in the parks. I don't understand it either. Now, I almost picked Hercules myself, but for me, I was going to say Hercules is a show, kind of like they do the Beauty and the Beast show. I thought they could do a Hercules show.
Nice.
But yeah, I totally agree. I would love it. They could do a Hercules dark ride or something along those lines and really start to bring his presence more in the parks, because he's not in the parks at all. And I don't get it. I mean, I love that movie. I think it's great. You're right. The music's wonderful. So many great characters that are underutilized. I would love to see a ride for Hercules. That'd be great. That's a great pick.
And Adam, what do you think? If I said,
yeah,
right, sorry, I want to ask you a question, because I think that I want to get your opinion on this. If, let's say, Epcot is expanding and we're getting a Greece pavilion, would you say yes to having a Hercules ride similar to Frozen in the Greece pavilion?
Oh, too right. Yeah, I think that would be a great pick. And as a dark ride, I think Disney do the dark ride so well. So I think a Hercules dark ride in the Greece pavilion. That's an interesting pick, Hercules, because I was just got me thinking. There's a couple of other Disney films that don't seem to have a presence in the parks, like Mulan is another one. You don't see anything to do with Mulan or Pocahontas.
You're taking the ones off my list.
Oh, sorry. So Pocahontas you only really see appear in Fantasmic, like you don't see anywhere else in any of the parks. So Hercules is a great idea, for a dark ride, and there should be a lot more Disney IPs that that are used.
Sure.
So yeah, definitely, if it was Epcot and a Greece pavilion, I think that would be a great show.
And Stacey Rogers mentioned you could ride maybe Pegasus, or maybe you can get trained by Philatites, or maybe be guided through the attraction by one of those characters. Maybe Hermes. I think Hermes is a great character in that movie who just pops up and just takes you along the trip. I think it's as he's the messenger god, he can take you through the journey. I think it would be such a different, but also kind of a familiar attraction. So I thought Hercules would be, it needs some love, and I thought maybe a dark ride would be quite good for it. So yeah, that was round one, guys. I hope you really enjoyed the first round of Disney Fiasco this week. Make sure that we're hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and sharing out the stream. Like I said before, Corey and Megan can't make it in this week. That's okay. They will be back very, very shortly, but we are joined by Walt from Mouse Talk and Adam from ADAMSLAND. It's great having them here. We've had a great first round, but we are heading into round two of our favorite movies that we would like to see as attractions at Walt Disney World or Disneyland. So Walt, what is your second pick this evening?
Sure. So my second pick is, and I think this at one time was a rumored ride, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong or verify it, but it's Monsters Incorporated. I think that I would love to see a Monsters Incorporated roller coaster. Now, I like the idea, and I think I had heard somewhere that there was a rumor that they were going to do a roller coaster incorporating the scene from The Doors, when they're riding on the doors and being chased by Randall, and it almost looks like they're on a roller coaster. That would be a great idea for a roller coaster that they could put in one of the parks. I don't really know how they would do it as The Doors, but they could do something like that. It could be like an indoor roller coaster as well, where the doors are all around you and you're riding on it. And I think that would be a fantastic idea for a great roller coaster ride incorporated around Monsters Incorporated. Because on the East Coast, I know they have the dark ride in Disneyland, but we don't have anything in Disney World other than the laugh floor, which is great.
Yeah.
But I want to ride. and I think it would be great as a roller coaster, and they could use that scene.
Yeah, I think it's such an interesting thing, because when I watched Monsters Inc. for the first time, I just remember watching that scene. I'm like, how cool would it be if I could ride this, ride a door and then jump through other doors to see different like things around the world.
Exactly.
You can jump into like a door where you end up in a bedroom in Hawaii, and then you end up in Alaska, and then you end up in China. Like, I think it'd be such a cool attraction, so you can jump through all these different doors while feeling like you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I think that's such a great idea. I don't know how they would do it.
Oh, they could do it. They could easily do it. They could take it as you're on the roller coaster. As you pass through a door, you're going into a different room, and the next room is a different scene. Like you said, maybe you're in China, maybe you're on the beach, maybe you're somewhere like that. I think they could do that easily. I think it'd be a great idea. I love your concept.
And one goes, "Welcome to the Himalayas." I just want the Yeti like popping out. Where would you want to put that attraction then? Because you already have the laugh floor in Tomorrowland. Where can you see this roller coaster be placed?
It's got to go Hollywood Studios.
Okay. Yeah.
I think if it's going to go anywhere, I think it has to go over there. I know they're doing a whole new, there's so much going on over there right now, but they could take, and I know a lot of people are probably going to be upset with me, but they could take the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular and say goodbye to that and put it right there.
Interesting. I have other plans for that stage show as well.
Slightly controversial. I love that stage show. That's one of the few shows.
There for I've actually known people who've worked at that show, and they will not be happy if I said I'm going to get rid of it.
I mean, the show's never changed since I first went to Florida in 1991.
No, not at all.
I love it for that. I love that it's sort of maintained itself all the way along.
It's such a unique show, and I think we could just talk about how Indiana Jones could be, such a it needs more love at Disney parks. But obviously they have rides all over the world, all different themed Indiana Jones rides all over the world. So it does have that presence. But I just want a little bit more from Indy. I would like to have a meet and greet with Indiana Jones. I think that'd be fantastic.
That'd be cool.
Sorry, we're getting a bit distracted. Adam, what do you think of this Monsters Inc. concept of flying through the world through these door roller coasters?
Riding the door roller coaster? Yeah. I mean, I heard, I think last year, it might have been around the time that the D23 Expo came out. There was a rumor that could be on the agenda to possibly replace Rock and Roller Coaster at some point. Now, I don't want to see Rock and Roller Coaster go anywhere, but I do love the idea of this ride as well. So yeah, I love the idea of this Monsters Inc. door. I think it would have to be a roller coaster with VR, maybe. I'm not sure. To encompass the kind of the different doors and what you see beyond those doors. But yeah, I do love that idea. Like I say, I heard a rumor that they might be looking to do something like that last year. So I've been wanting to see what they would do with that, going forward. So yeah, I do love that idea.
Yeah, I do like that. Hopefully something like that would come apart. I mean, you could still get the Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, which again is such a wonderful show. It's one of my favorite shows. So, but yeah, maybe we will get a ride like that. Adam, second pick. Where are we going? Are we staying with Disney, or are we heading to a?
No, I'm going to apologize to Zoe now, because she wrote a few minutes ago, yes, more Star Wars, less Marvel. So I apologize to Zoe in advance for this next pick. And this is a bit of a cop-out one because I didn't have much time to come up with a list. But if Universal Studios have got Spider-Man and the Hulk, then why not go for one of the other Avengers? So I would, say maybe an Iron Man ride. Kind of along a similar theme to what Universal did with Transformers and with Spider-Man and stuff. That kind of that cross between 3D simulator and you built around as well. I think I love those rides and the way they're done. So I wish I'd led in with this one now, because it's not as cool as the Star Wars idea and the way we went with it. But yeah, just an Iron Man. It's get that Marvel stuff into now that Disney have acquired it and sort of expanding on the Marvel stuff. That would be a good start there.
Funnily enough, I had Iron Man on my list.
Sorry, dude.
No. I wanted to talk about Iron Man because I was actually watching the first movie today, funnily enough, as well. And I was thinking of the show, and I was thinking, right, what movies could I really bring to the Disney parks? And I was watching Iron Man. I was like, watching him suit up as Iron Man for the first time. I remember watching that in the IMAX in Leicester Square, which the big red carpet theaters where all the big celebrities go for red carpet events. I remember seeing it there like a week afterwards, and I was sitting there, and I was like, what person would not want to suit up like Iron Man? Like, I just, you can fly, you can shoot stuff, you have a guy talking in your ear. I mean, it's just like, and you feel like a superhero. And maybe having like, we're going back to Flight of Passage again. If they can create a way for you to feel like that you're riding a banshee, I feel like there's a way that you can just literally put your arms out and put your legs on this mat, and you'll feel like you're putting on a suit of armor and being able to have that flying experience. You may be able to get into maybe some sort of harness, and you'll be able to fly like Iron Man and maybe shoot stuff with like some impulses coming out of your hands. I think that just having that Marvel, Iron Man, Avengers sort of sense to Disney it's now. You need to do it now, as Avengers is the biggest thing at the moment. And also when you're going back to what Universal has with the Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man, I don't feel like that will be there too long. As soon as the Fox deal is confirmed and it's, they've actually bought the rights to X-Men and Spider-Man, they're going to get all those properties for the whole of the United States. They can use Spider-Man and the X-Men and no, they can use Spider-Man and the Avengers on the West Coast, but on the East Coast, it's everything to the west of the Mississippi River that Disney can use. So as soon as that Fox deal goes through, they can bring it. They own the Hulk, so they can bring that whole Hulk coaster to Disney. They can bring that Spider-Man coaster to Disney. So I feel like then there's got to be a Marvel presence, and we're already seeing that in Disneyland in Anaheim, and I think we're getting that in Guardians of the Galaxy in Epcot. Yeah. I think it's a great time to be a Marvel fan. It's going to be that big thing now. So. And WDW2 say, Dan, imagine the ride Air from Alton Towers, but base it around flying Marvel characters, Star-Lord, Iron Man, Falcon. Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. I think that's a great idea. What do you think of having a Marvel or Iron Man themed attraction?
I think it's fantastic, and I hope they find I love the idea. They need more of that, and I hope they find a way to get that property down in Disney World. I personally don't think Universal is going to give it up without a fight. So I think Disney will probably have to offer them a lot of money to get them out of that myself. But I hope it happens because I think it would be fantastic. I would love the idea. I think it's a great idea. I would love to see something along the lines of an Iron Man type ride at Disney World. It doesn't matter if it's simulator or how you would do it. I love it. And actually that kind of, I'm along the same lines, Adam, with my next pick. So I totally get it. I think it's fantastic. Well,
as soon as that deal goes through with 21st Century Fox, Universal can't do anything about it. Disney owns the rights to Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk and the X-Men. So if Disney want to shut them down at Universal, that's what Universal have to do because they own all the rights to it.
That would be great. Bring them on over.
Bring it over. Get it down the street.
Please. We'll make room. We'll make room. Yes.
Oh, that would be fantastic. We've got some great stuff going on in the chat. We have Wreck-It Ralph. I mean, we're getting a Wreck-It Ralph themed attraction over West Ditch's Great Escape is going to be. Stacey Rogers says, I think Universal still has a licensing deal where Disney isn't going to be able to use the Marvel stuff that Universal has. So as soon as Disney gain the rights to it through this 21st Century Fox deal, Disney will have all the rights to it and they could do whatever they want. And the only reason why Universal have used that Marvel property is because it's on the east side of the Mississippi River. It's really like weirdly complicated. I don't know why it is that, but you can go into so much detail with that. But as soon as Disney own the rights, then Disney is that all powerful, godlike entertainment company that could do anything. We need a Rapunzel ride, says Emma. Funnily enough, as she has a Rapunzel.
I can't think why she said that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Right. Right. Where were we? Who, is it my pick?
It is.
That's my pick. Okay.
Adam and I did our second pick.
It's my pick, I guess. My next pick is a movie that I think if you grew up in the 80s, which I didn't, or 80s or 70s, I don't know when it was released, you probably know of it. It's a sci-fi classic, and it was re-released around 2007, and it's called Tron. Now, if you have never seen Tron, I would highly recommend you watching this sci-fi. Let's be honest, it's a geeky movie. It's a great geeky movie. I love it. I think it's great. And if you saw the Tron Legacy movie with Jeff Bridges, I think it's a really fun, good, just a light-hearted movie. Now, obviously, Tron, the light cycle roller coaster, opened in Shanghai, and they're opening a new Tron coaster in Walt Disney World. Now, that's all great. I think that's fantastic. Who wouldn't want to ride a Tron cycle? But for me, Tron is all about being transported yourself into, the grid, going inside this video game, inside this world. Now, you can't deny that with VR, you would not want to be in this world of Tron. I think this is a perfect opportunity to be using VR in Tron. Tron is that perfect entity for VR, for people to use VR. It's like using it for Ready Player One, but Ready Player One is not Disney. Who wouldn't want to put on a specs, get into the grid, and being able to throw a light disc, the disc at people and trying to knock people out, being able to, ride a light cycle but in VR and actually have that atmosphere of being in the world of Tron. And those Tron jets from Tron Legacy. I think just being just immerse yourself into a world like that would be just amazing. Just very, very different to anything really. I mean, the light cycle stuff, the Tron roller coaster is going to be fantastic. Everyone says it's amazing in Shanghai, but who wouldn't want that VR experience? So that was my pick. What do you think? Are you a Tron guy?
Well, I was alive when the first Tron movie came out, so I can remember that movie actually. And yeah, I am a Tron guy. I love it. And Tron Legacy was actually better than I anticipated it was going to be. I went in with low expectations, but I really actually did enjoy it a lot. And I would love to see another portion of Tron or something different than what what's coming. Obviously, the light cycle is going to be great, but yeah, I love your idea. I think it would be fantastic. I would love for them to incorporate more of it because it's always forgotten about. Whenever most people think about Tron, they don't even say, "Oh, that's a Disney movie." They don't even think that it is. Yeah. So no, I think it's a fantastic idea. I would love to see that.
Adam, what do you think? Have you seen Tron a couple of times? Or
I've seen bits of the original Tron. I've not seen the newer film. I've not seen Legacy. But I've seen bits of the original Tron. So, yeah, I like. Now, one thing I've never looked on YouTube to see what if there's sorry, excuse me, any footage of the light cycle coaster that they've got in Shanghai. Yeah. So I don't know what that's going to look like, and I can't wait to see what they bring to the Magic Kingdom with that. But yeah, certainly, I remember Tron in the 80s, and it was, just the way it was shot and the graphics of it and everything. I thought was fantastic. So yeah, I would love to. Excuse me, I would love to see a ride where you were thrown into that world. Certainly, I think, with VR and stuff, I think that'd be very cool to see.
Awesome. So yeah, so Tron Legacy as a VR experience, that was my second pick.
Dan, it's got to be VR. I agree, but it has to be VR. I think it's perfect. It's perfect for VR. They could do so much with that, and they could, I think it'd be fantastic as VR for sure.
And even if they just did a VR, and when they do the light cycle ride at Walt Disney World, you know, maybe they can try putting VR on the Light Cycle roller coaster, because they have tried that at other theme parks. So maybe we can do that on the Light Cycle roller coaster. I think that might be also quite an interesting idea. So, yeah, that was my pick. We've got to swiftly move on. Make sure that we're hitting that like button, guys, subscribing to the channel, and we are on our way to episode number 20 of Disney Fiasco in 2 weeks. So it's been absolutely crazy. But we are having a great time tonight. Make sure you're showing some love to Corey and Megan's channel, who cannot be here tonight. But we are going on to round 3 with Mouse Talk Walt. Walt from Mouse Talk is going to be choosing his 3rd pick of this evening. So what movie would you like to see made into a ride?
Okay, so we are sticking with the Marvel theme, because I think Adam touched on it, and I totally agree 100%. I want to see a Captain America ride. First off, he is my favorite Avenger. He's my favorite Marvel character. I love Captain America. And I want to see a Captain America ride similar to what we have over in Universal with Kong and Fast and Furious, where you can get in a vehicle, you can go into like that 360 screen, and you're either back in the 1940s fighting Hydra, or you're today like in the Winter Soldier, where you're fighting the Shield as the bad guys, and it's all around you, and Captain America comes in and out of the screen, and Black Widow's there, and Falcon is there. I think they could make that into a great type of ride, and it's Captain America themed, and I think that would be fantastic. I would love to see that. I think that would be my pick. That's what they could do. They'd have to use some sort of, technology that they already have, and that's the technology I think would work. I think what they did with Kong and Fast and Furious over at Universal, Disney hasn't incorporated that in any way, shape, or form, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. I like that idea, and I think they could use it for Captain America.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a place for Disney to use the simulated rides. I think obviously Universal are going much more for that thrill ride aspect, so which is why they use a lot more simulations and high-speed roller coasters. And I feel like using a ride like Fast and Furious and Kong, you can definitely see that sort of correlation with Marvel being that high-paced, lots of action kind of property. And I think Captain America is a perfect pick. I think he is, apart from Iron Man, he is the Marvel guy. Everyone looks at Captain America as a big role model. Maybe I'll ask my friend Chris Evans what he thinks, because I have met Mr. Evans before, very, very briefly, I know.
That's awesome.
It was kind of a shock in the moment, really, because I was at work, and I was working at Bay Lake Tower at the time, and just going around doing my normal day-to-day thing, and I just see him come out of the elevator. I'm like, oh, hello.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
You have a great day. If you need any help, just let me know. I was kind of a bit starstruck at the time, but yeah, no, I'll pass on a message to him. But
yes, please do.
I think Captain America is such a great attraction. I think it could be such a great attraction, being that he is the leader of the Avengers. It could be like a big car chase like they did in Age of Ultron. I think you could have maybe more of a battle scene like in New York in the original Avengers. So yeah, I think having Cap as a lead in an attraction is great. Adam, what do you think?
I think, yeah, great choice again, and interesting to like you say, put it like the way they did Kong. I've not ridden Fast and the Furious yet because that wasn't open when I last went to Florida, but yeah, like you say, doing it the way they did Kong. My next pick has kind of got that element to it as well, but it's a bit, it's not an Avengers one next time. But yeah, I think that would be a great choice. So again, like we were talking about the way they did Spider-Man, and we were talking about the Iron Man theme and stuff. I think Captain America is a great pick.
Fantastic. That's a great choice. Well, great third pick. And we're going to move you swiftly on to Adam, your third pick, which you just mentioned. So what is your third pick of this evening?
Pick would be a mixture of dark ride with, sort of animatronics and the screens either side, like you get in Kong.
Okay.
But what I would want, slightly for more for the kids, as well. I would want a Lion King based ride called Timon and Pumbaa's Safari, and I think the reason being is I love Kilimanjaro safaris that you get at Animal Kingdom, but you always find with the Kilimanjaro it can be hit and miss, because certain animals are there, right up close to your truck, and sometimes they're just not visible at all. And some, and again with little kids riding them, sometimes they're just sitting there bored. Sometimes, they only kind of pick up a bit of excitement if somebody says, "Hey kids, look at this over here," So I just think obviously with a ride that could be educational for the kids, it would allow kids to kind of see certain things, what they look like that they might miss out on not seeing on the safari if that particular animal's being particularly lazy that day and not coming out to see everyone. And I just think it would be very, very fun because you'd have Timon and Pumbaa sort of bringing everyone along on this journey, and the way they do in the film, the way they bring Simba along, and with their songs and their witty humor and stuff. I just think that would be a fun experience, kind of like Living with the Land, but with animals and Timon and Pumbaa. Yeah,
I really like that especially as it's like you said, an alternative to Kilimanjaro Safari, because I love Kilimanjaro Safari. I think it's certainly one of the most unique attractions in the world. Certainly, is a mini safari, and I think having a variety, something different that maybe maybe you don't see the lions on the Kilimanjaro Safari, but when you go on it with Timon and Pumbaa, you're not only just seeing Simba, but you're seeing his whole tribe, his whole group of lions with him. You can meet different other animals throughout the savannah where Pride Rock is, and I think it is a very interesting idea, especially using the VR, like you said, and more having a slow moving ride. I think it's a really great idea, especially for the young kids who are interested in animals. Maybe you can think of maybe different characters, and you can work it more with Asia as well, like Asian animals, or maybe having just maybe just a dinosaur maybe themed one. I just don't know. It could be. I think there's so many possibilities with that, because also it's very educational for the young kids who might love animals. So I love that. I really, really love that. Well, what do you think of having a Timon and Pumbaa kind of motion safari using technology and screens and things?
I think it's fantastic, and Adam kind of stole my thunder, because I have a Lion King ride as one of my honorable mentions, so I'm on the same page. I think Lion King is probably the best Disney animated movie, and it's really not seen except for Festival of the Lion King in any of the parks. So I love the idea of a ride, and the fact that you can make it educational for the kids.
Yeah,
it's just a bonus on top of it. I didn't even think of that in my honorable mention, which I'll get into later, but I love that idea. I think it's fantastic. I think it would be wonderful if they could do something like that, and I love it. I think that's a great idea.
And I think they could put it straight back where in the land, to be honest. They could put that straight back into where the Circle of Life show was, to be honest. I think it could fit perfectly there, because you already have the safari in Animal Kingdom. I think, maybe talking to them about the savannah and the land as well as the animals would be a really great idea. So, no, Adam, I love that pick. All right, so we are coming around to my third pick, my last main pick of the evening. And I think Pixar needs some love. We've already showed a little bit of Monsters, Inc., but I want to show a little bit of love to a Pixar movie that we talked about last week, which I feel, again, doesn't get a lot of love, and that is Inside Out. For me, Inside Out is one of the best Pixar movies in the last 5-6 years. It is just such a wonderful, good-hearted movie that I think they could do so much with that movie. Now, this would be my concept. It's kind of like a mix between Journey into Imagination and Spaceship Earth. Wow. So it will be a slow ride going through your imagination, as it is, with Bing Bong and the emotions, but also everyone will be able to design their own. So how Riley has all her different specific lands, like islands. And using Spaceship Earth technology, you can pick. So it'll ask you, are you boy or a girl? You could click boy. What are you into? Sports, music, arts, drama. You click that. Are you interested in this? And it'll kind of create your own imagination kind of land. How Riley has it in her head. In this ride, so everyone will have their own different experience, and then they'll have a little bit of a video at the end saying, oh, you are here in this island, oh, this island looks really cool, and it's all to match your personality and your feels and your feelings. So I think having that mix of a dark ride mixed with the emotions from Inside Out and having that different lands that correspond with your childhood and your personality, that would be, something really, really cool. So if I told you an example, my islands would be Disney Island, then Golf Island, because I love playing golf, Watford Football Club Island, and then Green Day and Punk Rock Island. Like, those would be all my different islands inside my head, and my kind of ride will allow me to show that in this attraction. So that would be my kind of ride, showing Inside Out as a great movie to have as a ride. Well, what do you think of an Inside Out kind of attraction?
I think it's fantastic. I love the idea of an Inside Out ride. If they could find the technology to be able to do that, to kind of cater the ride to what your picks are and what what you picked in your selections, I think that would be fantastic. It would be technology that maybe they really don't have anywhere else in Disney World or any of the other parks. I would love that idea. I think that's fantastic if they could do something like that.
And Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, 100% agree. I think that would be really, really cool to see. And yeah, were you saying like, because you were talking about the ideas of, what's, your feels kind of thing, so would it be a different kind of, it would be tailored to everybody that's riding it, or would it like, yeah, how would you go about that technology?
Yeah, so like they do with Spaceship Earth, where everyone will have a different screen, and then they'll be able to pick their personality through the choices.
Yeah.
So my question is, if you could have 3 islands that you could create through how Riley has her imagination, like for example, mine was like golf, Disney, and punk rock. Those are my all 3 islands. I want to hear your 3 islands. So, who wants to go first?
Well, I'll go first. Well, mine would be baseball.
Nice.
It would then be probably Star Wars.
Nice.
And it would be family. I'd have to have an island for my family, for sure.
Awesome. I love it. Adam?
Mine would be the movies,
Yep.
Hard Rock.
Nice.
Yep. And I want to say football. But
Yeah.
I want to say football, British football.
What team?
Leeds.
Okay, that's all right then. That's all right then. At least it's not something like Manchester United or Liverpool or anything like that.
Don't swear at me. We're not allowed to swear on the streams.
no swearing. Yeah, awesome. So those are some great picks, guys. What we'll do is we'll go back through our lists, and then we'll do our honorable mentions just quickly. Just maybe doing like a sentence or two about our honorable mentions. In the chat, please put down your favorite 3 things that you would have as your islands from Inside Out while we go through our lists one more time. So to round up our lists, Walt, would you like to go through 1 to 5?
Sure.
1, 2, 3, and then just pause for your 4th and 5th and just discuss your honorable why you put those honorable mentions on your list.
Absolutely. So my 3 were an Aladdin ride along the lines of a simulator ride, a Monsters Incorporated roller coaster ride, and then finally a Captain America type ride with like the 360 incorporated screen around you. And as for 2 honorable mentions, my first honorable mention was a Lion King dark ride. Basically, you ride through and it's all the scenes from the Lion King, and your ride vehicle can be like either a safari vehicle or like maybe you're riding on an elephant and you're riding through the safari in the Lion King movie. I think that would be a really cool ride to do. And then my other one was Tangled. I think Tangled is also underutilized, and they could do a dark ride for Tangle as well.
Instead of making it a restroom in Fantasyland.
Yeah. It's nice, don't get me wrong. I think that area is
it's beautiful.
Really well. It really is done well. It's themed perfectly, but they could do a ride for sure.
Fantastic picks. I love it. Thank you so much. Right. Adam, what is your top 5 this evening?
Okay, so my number 1 was the Star Wars pod racing ride. That would be like a simulator. We kind of embellished on it, and we kind of went through down the test track route where you built your own pod first, and competed against other pod racers essentially. My second choice was the Iron Man ride, using similar technology to what they use for things like Spider-Man and stuff at Universal Studios. And my third was Lion King based Timon and Pumbaa's safari, a bit sort of one more for the kids, that uses a mixture of dark ride animatronics and screen technology like they use on Kong at Universal. Nice. My honorable picks, number 1 would be the Mary Poppins carousel. So a bit like the horses that kind of go off track and sort of take you through that colorful chalk picture drawing that they all jump into in the film. So that something like that, that's again would be a mixture of dark ride animatronics and screen technology when you get to the penguins and things like that. So a Mary Poppins carousel that doesn't just go round and round, but obviously takes you on a bit of a journey. And my other one would have to be, and the reason I say this one is it would be Honey, I Shrunk the Kids based, because I used to love that bit in the park at MGM, as it was called at the time. It'll always be MGM to me. So I loved the garden that you could go into where you had the oversized Lego block and stuff like that, and and all the grass. But I'd love to see it turned into some sort of ride. I remember they used to do a bit where they showed you how they did the bee scene, where he jumps on top of the bee and flies around, and maybe a ride like that would be pretty cool, So
that'd be awesome.
But taking you through not just screen based, but again using the set that they kind of had in that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids garden.
That would be fantastic. That's a good idea.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Fantastic choices. Again, I think that last one really caught me by surprise, and I really like that one a lot. Rounding up my list was Hercules Dark Ride. I think that something similar to Frozen Ever After would be quite cool. Maybe put that in the Greece Pavilion if they brought that to Epcot. Number 2 would be my Tron VR experience, whether you are in the world of Tron. 3 is my Create Your Own Inside Out experience, being able to choose your islands, going through a dark ride for Inside Out. My number 4 would be Black Panther. So take out Rafiki's Planet Watch, and you get on that train and you literally get transported out of Animal Kingdom into Wakanda. I think that'd be such an awesome idea. Literally, you're transported out of there. No more Rafiki Planet Watch, straight into Wakanda. I think it'd be so cool. It is perfect to go right there where it is. And my number 5, my other honorable mention, going back to Star Wars, my favorite movie as a kid was Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, and having maybe a speeder bike through Endor chase ride, similar to the pod races, would be quite cool. I just remember that scene so much, being able to ride the speeder bike through the forest of Endor, taking out spaceships. It would be kind of like a roller coaster, but quite low to the ground through lots of trees. Experience roller coaster ride. I think that'd be pretty cool as well. But that's my list, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, Disney Fiasco, this week, having such wonderful special guests with me to join me last minute on this episode number 18. So thank you so much. Anything you would like to plug, Walt?
Well, no, just our channel. We do Disney all the time with our channel. We do reviews, we do resort overviews, park overviews, top 10s, and of course we have our live stream every Thursday as well on the Live Place and on our channel. And we're really close to 1,000 subscribers. I think we're at like 961.
Yep.
So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. But no, other than that, that was it. I mean, we love the Disney community. Everybody's very supportive, very enthusiastic and wonderful, and we couldn't ask for a better community to be a part of. And thank you, Dan, for thinking of us to be on here today. And Adam, it's been a pleasure being on here with you as well. It's been great.
Make sure, guys, you check out Mouse Talk. Unfortunately, Melissa couldn't join us as well this week, but thank you so much again for stopping by and joining us on Disney Fiasco. Please go check out Mouse Talk's channel. They are so close to 1,000 subscribers, and they so thoroughly deserve it. So please go check them out. And yeah, go check out Mouse Talk. A really, really awesome channel. So thank you so much. And Adam, thank you so much, literally last minute, for jumping in and saving the day as well. You, my friend, are one of the biggest supporters here in the YouTube community. You know, helping. I know we're not really partner channels, but you know, it feels like we have such a close connection with our channels through Rob and Our Theme Life and all those guys over there. And it just, again, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for joining me.
Dude, it was absolutely my pleasure. And, you know, to echo what Walt was saying as well, you know, thank you for having us on and asking us to step in. And Walt, it was a pleasure doing this with you too as well, mate. So, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. And as for Adam's Land, I just want to say that I've got more Disneyland Paris vlogs to come. I'm scrambling to try and get them edited, but I'm flying out to LA on Monday. So if I don't get them out in time, you might have to wait another couple of weeks until they come out. I'll try and get them out beforehand, though, if I can, or while I'm out there, if I get a chance. And yeah, stay tuned.
Fantastic. Well, make sure we check out Adam's Land on YouTube and Ebony's little channel as well. Have fun in LA in a couple of weeks. And Walt, have fun in Walt Disney World also in a couple of weeks.
2 weeks. We'll be down there streaming. It's going to be fun.
Nice.
So fantastic, guys. You absolutely killed it. Before we finish off here, in 3 minutes' time, my friends Ed and Mindy from the Viapre Project are going live. It's the return of the Viapres. Please go check out the Viapre Project straight after this. Please go and share some love. I want you to guys write in the chat that I'm going to put it in the chat right here. Disney Dan sent me. Okay, so I want you guys to copy this, and when the Viapre projects go live, I want you to post this in their chat and just to say that you guys have been sent from Disney Fiasco over to the Viapre project. That'll be really, really awesome. Hey, Dawn, what is up? It's good to see you. I just want to say thank you so much for everybody joining tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully, Megan and Corey will be back next week. So please go show them some love with my partner channels. Please go check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Disney Dan, and please subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 600 subscribers. We are so close. I'm looking forward to maybe doing a 600 subscriber special. And yeah, more Disney World vlogs coming out really soon. So guys, thank you so much for watching episode number 18 of Disney Fiasco. Episode number 19 next week, and we look forward to seeing you there. And as always, guys, live your life with a smile each and every day. And I'll see you guys next week. And I'll see you all real soon. Take care, guys. Bye.